Orb presents All This and Gargantua-2, Part 2.
This is Gary Butterfield.
This is Cole Ross.
And welcome back to Part 2.
It's just us now.
No, yeah, it's so due to scheduling stuff, we love Gwen with our whole hearts. My health stuff kicked up, as mentioned last time. I have a better handle on it, but schedules did not work out to get her on the second half. Gwen will be back.
Yes.
That is a threat. It sounds like one, and it is one.
It's a promise.
So, it's a promise and a threat. Yeah, we're talking about the back 2/3 or so of Gargantua-2. The first half was very heavy with kind of generalities and where it fit into the context. We're going to finish the recap this episode.
Yeah. So right before we ended the last episode with the Sovereign giving an ultimatum to the remaining 4 members of the Council of 13, saying, "Hey, join me on my mission: destroy the Gargantua-2 spaceship and all of our enemies within." And when they refused, the Sovereign opened up the gas, started gassing their little booths. But Watch and Ward cut in and rescued Dr. and Mrs. the Monarch and welcomed her to the Resistance, a movement inside the guild that was building up to resist the Monarch and basically his suicide mission.
Yeah. So everybody is we're picking up right there. The Monarch and 21 are going through security at the airport. Give me a New Jersey transit schedule. They're on the way to make their way to Gargantua-2, not from the airport. We'll see how they get there.
Yes.
There's some business, some TSA business going on.
Yeah.
He didn't check his dart shooters through the checked luggage like a fool.
Right. Hey, it counts as weapon. It's weird. You can just check it. You can have a weapon on a plane as long as it's in the bag.
Yeah. Well, how would you get to it?
There are panels you can lift to get down there. It's just in the belly of the thing. Yeah,
in the belly of the plane.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I have to take off my shoes.
So the Monarch can take his
darts. Don't bother me
darts
anymore. The belt sucks.
Yeah, I don't like the belt.
Yeah, my pants fall down.
Yeah,
I turn into like a fat clown. I constantly am bending over my big gigantic boxers with huge hearts on them. Like my Ghost and Goblins boxers are constantly showing.
That's the thing about a belt is that it is a functional garment.
Yeah, it's not just for decoration.
Yeah,
they should make a Magneto belt that has no metal in it.
Oh, I mean, I'm positive that exists.
I'm sure. Yeah, but it'd be kind of the belt they give Magneto to keep his pants up. Charles? Charles, hold up.
So the Monarch explains to 2021, saying like, "Hey, if we take out Phantom Limb, who is also making his move on the on Gargantua-2, we can get in good with the guild because Limb is their most wanted fugitive, for all of his attempted mutiny and whatnot."
Well, he doesn't just want to get in good; he wants to get on the council.
Yes,
with his wife. He does not know any of this intrigues going on at this point. This airport's hopping because Red Mantle is there as well. In disguise. These are the guild members that OSI lost.
Yes.
Like their tails got shaken off. He's got Dragoon's head disguised as a big, gross, goitery tumor.
It's so gross. Why do I have to be the tumor?
That's what you are to me. You're a nagging, festering sack of flesh that's eating me alive. And then there's a great little joke with Dr. Z is behind them as a rabbi. He pops his head out.
Yes.
Gentlemen, if you do not cease your endless bickering, I'm prepared to perform a bris.
That's what I like about Dr. Z. He commits to the role, commits to the bit.
Yeah. He's willing to cut off the tip of an old man's penis if it means commitment to the bit.
To make a point. I like the idea of him just carrying around a Moyle knife.
So Hunter radios Brock, to get a status update. Brock is looking around, to get back on track after he's been having sex with Amber Gold. He can't find his fake mustache because Hank grabbed it. Hank the Tank.
Yeah.
We cut over to him in the casino. He has the mustache on and tries to gamble, tries to buy some chips with his Hank Bucks that he brought from Hank Co.
I just like the idea that just his idea of what commerce is. Like, oh, of course, I take this money at my store. Everybody has to take it, right?
Yeah, money is money. It reminds me of the Mr. Show thing with the homesteader who's like, I pay myself for groceries that I find in the forest. And it's him laying out some bark and rocks that he's drawn symbols on.
Groceries.
Yeah. I pay myself for groceries I find in the forest is a powerful sentence.
Rusty is here, continually bitter. He is with Action Man and Rose, complaining about how I'm the only person who belongs up here. I made the ray shields. I'm the one keeping us alive. Kind of reminding us what happened in the opening episode of the season. And this is going to come back at the end as well.
Yeah.
Those ray shields.
Nobody cares about Rusty at this point.
No.
Dean walks up with Colonel Gentleman. Colonel Gentleman wants to play some craps here. And Dean is wondering where JJ is. No one's actually seen him. They've just seen that projection.
Right.
And Rusty decides to go look for him. So I'm going to give him a piece of my mind there. Brock comes in disguise. He had cut off a piece of his mullet to make a mustache. This is an animation thing where this looks identical to his fake mustache because of how things are animated.
Yeah.
In real life, this would look a lot crappier.
It would. Yeah. But it's called out. It's like, hey, does my mustache look good? If you mean, is it a mullet? Then yes. But she says, hey, stop worrying and gamble. And this is maybe a little gratuitous, but I like it as a visual gag anyway. It's like, all right, yeah, we'll gamble, but no baccarat. Only spies play baccarat. And then it's all of these James Bond wannabes over it.
3 bonds.
Yep.
3 bonds over there in the martini. It's like, I ordered mine shaken, not stirred. He's like, yeah, you all did. This is cute to me.
Yes.
So Rusty comes into JJ's office. Billy's there as well. Billy's dressed up as a doctor. And Billy leaves and is like, hey, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And it's genuinely like a really soft scene.
Mm-hmm.
Rusty starts apologizing and JJ jumps into his arms.
Yeah.
Here to give him a big hug.
Yeah. That feels like home. He says, cuddled up to his bosom. Remember, JJ was excised as a tumor.
Yes.
And JJ is, clearly at the end of his life. Something that I love, forget if it's the commentary or the art book, but they're talking about like, yeah, you can't really sell the way somebody looks when they're dying of cancer in animation.
Well, they wanted to make it, but it looked too grotesque.
Yeah.
Like they had drawings of it, but it was too squicky.
Yeah. So here he's just, kind of thin and his, eyes are sunken and he's bald. He kind of looks much more similar to Rusty, right? Bald, and he's got the goatee. Yeah.
And he starts kind of soliloquizing like, you Rusty, you did it right. You have family, friends, a little business you can call your own. This is, Rusty's a deeply unpleasant person who does not appreciate his friends and family.
Right. And also
I got caught in the rat race. All means nothing when you're about to die. Ethan Winters.
My organs are failing, Rust. Yeah. Oh yeah.
So he's bald. He's dying. He's got cancer of the everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, total system shutdown, and that was something that that was why he called Billy up. This talented surgeon who maybe could help as kind of a Hail Mary. But Billy's opinion's like, no, this is this is for real. There's another Hail Mary that ends up being a little bit of a red herring. But the investors are here, and JJ knows it. They loom in and he says, no, we'll review those terms later when I'm not with my family. And then they float away. It's kind of made to seem like he is working with them, but that is not the case.
Well, he is working with them. He's not working for them the same way that
Monstroso was.
Did.
Yeah.
Like they are investors in his company.
Yeah.
That's why Brock showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And meaningfully, Rusty doesn't see this. Rusty's back is turned.
Yes.
So he does not see the 3 creepy floating guys pop in.
Well, they can also control who sees them, which we're going to see down with Brock.
Yeah. I thought that was they can't be shown on electronic devices.
People in the room are not
through spy cameras.
People in the room are not reacting in the way that they would if there were these floating weird guys around.
Their backs are all turned as well.
I suppose. Yeah.
I always assumed it was like a vampire thing, like they can't show up on cameras.
Yeah.
But no, who can tell?
But down in the down in the casino, Brock is planting more spy cameras, and Hank being the amazing spy that he is, made them, and he waves and winks, hey buddy.
Yeah.
And Brock is distressed when the investors appear before him. They're on board. They did not know that was going to be happening.
Yeah. He's going to take them out and do something, but his earpiece shorts, Hunter can't see them because they disrupt electronics, Slender Man style, or whatever. And they end up surrounding Brock, and Brock's like, what are you sickos doing here? And they it's not our custom to go where we are not invited, unlike some people we know.
Yeah. Because Brock is technically trespassing, and they use that to get him taken away. Just you stole somebody's ship and kidnapped them. So you need to be like, you can't be here. And Pirate Captain, basically that's the line that he takes. Like, yeah, like technically you do need to be taken away. There's no brig on here. Which is fun. Like, what kind of ship doesn't have a brig? Instead they're going to
a space station. Captain.
Every vessel should have a brig, according to old PC there. But instead he has them taken away to the cages.
Yeah, just find a small room.
Yeah,
for them.
Take them to the laundry brig. Yeah.
Yep. Hank tries to maintain this as cover. He puts all his chips on black and just says some people just don't lose very well to the people in background, begging the question how he got the chips.
Maybe they took Hank bucks. Maybe they called up to JJ and he said, just humor him.
Why not?
Yeah.
So we see Hector and Swifty, like everything's coming together. Or two, and just how long has it been since you thought about Hector and Swifty?
I love them. I mean, Swifty especially.
Pretty no more. Yeah, they're on a shuttle on their way. Swifty saw, Swifty doesn't talk here. Hector says he saw something unusual.
Yeah,
on the outside of the station here because Swifty's got a secret.
Yeah. So they get an access code to get through the ray shield, as they're coming back in. But two of the Revenge Society members, Fat Chance and Professor Impossible, kind of stowing away on the back of this. So they're, that's how they got through the shield.
Wait, isn't he? I thought he was Professor Impossible. No, Professor Impossible is forming himself as Swifty with Fat Chance inside him.
He takes them over. It is unclear, but it is definitely the two of them hanging off the back of the shuttle, kind of sitting on the back the back ledge. So I think that like when they go to board, that's when Professor Impossible kind of takes on the form, right?
That feels like a hat on a hat. That feels like an error in the script or something.
Yeah, but it's definitely both of them hanging off the back, because I went back and looked to make sure who it was. Because for a second I thought it was Radical Left.
Yeah, weird choice to just not have them impersonate.
Yeah,
to go up there and have them briefly impersonate when they get on the ship.
Yeah, I think that the order of events was create a distraction, draw the shuttle out, and then ride it back in and disguise yourself as whoever you need to get in. It's like a Hitman level.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Gotcha. So Pirate Captain walks into JJ's office, and JJ is still being real clingy, saying like, "Hey, we found a UFO out there." I also love Pirate Captain saying like, "Yeah, no, he really clings when he gets on there." So I love that JJ is doing this to Pirate Captain too.
It's very sweet.
But the object, what they found, was not a ship or anything. It was a person. It was General Treister.
Yep. I love it. Again, bringing everything back.
Yeah.
The Revenge Society is getting ready to make their move. Phantom Limb is taking a shit, but he's actually secretly talking to the Sovereign. Cute little gag. The Sovereign pops up on a hologram to surprise him, and then he shits, makes the pop noise. They've done that before. That showed up in Operation VEN.
Yep.
But cute little callback.
I love how the Sovereign's face just is like right in his face too. Yeah. It's horrible. Just real uncomfortable. Also, the first time that we've seen the side of the Sovereign's face.
Yeah. Yeah. I've always sympathized with people in TV shows who could be scared into shitting. Whereas if the Sovereign popped up when I was shitting, I think I would close up tighter than, anything.
Finish it.
Tighter than, well, I'm trying to think of what's tight that isn't just a sweet little asshole.
I would have gone pet pickle jar.
Yeah, like a sweet little pickle jar. Like a little baby gherkin.
Sorry, you really caught me off guard, and now I'm coughing.
I caught myself off guard. I didn't expect to talk about sweet little assholes on this, but sometimes they do be sweet, though.
Yeah. We talked about poop shyness at the end of Devil's Grip, right?
Oh yeah. It keeps going. It's going up a lot at the end of the season.
Hey, it's the source material. So Phantom is like, I can't believe that you found us, right? Like how in the world? Force Majeure was the Sovereign's predecessor. He was the old Sovereign, or the old leader of the guild. And this meteor has been the Sovereign's retreat for
summer
years.
Retreat, specifically summer home or something like that.
Up in space on this meteor.
Very cute.
Yeah. But yes, so is Operation Backdoor proceeding as planned? And no, that's not a euphemism. Again, because
very funny thing to ask somebody shitting. So this is the plan. Phantom Limb has been in on it.
Mm-hmm.
The idea is he gets up there, he leaves the back door open for the Sovereign to come in there and take out Gargantua-2 and get a place in the council.
Yes,
for the whole Revenge Society as part of this.
Yeah, so they get their money, and he gets his place on the council for creating this opportunity. And nobody else on the Revenge Society knows about this deal. Notably, all of these are people who have been burned by the guild, hence the revenge and whatnot.
Yeah. We cut over to Dr. Mrs. the Monarch with Phage and Mommy Longlegs sneaking their way through the guild. Watch them warn them not to touch anything. And 21 pops up. Mm-hmm. There you are. The Monarch's waiting for you guys, acting like Alex, Sam, and Clover are totally spies. And Dr. Mrs. Monarch goes, wait, it might be a trap. And I love this delivery. Twin goes, might be. And it's such a good, gleeful little bit.
Yeah, it's the Sovereign. He's in shapeshifter form. I like that because that's kind of something that that 21 would say, but it's it's very specific in a way that he wouldn't do it. And awkward. Also, to be reminded of Totally Spies. Do you know about Totally Spies?
I do not know about Totally Spies. I had to look this up after.
Yeah. So it's like a Nickelodeon cartoon or Cartoon Network cartoon about these three lady spies. But it is, meme famous or what have you, because a shocking number of the episodes are related to different paraphilias in a way that it would have to be intentional. So they have episodes that are inflation, all kinds of transformation stuff. They've got things that are like weirdly specifically BDSM, but not called that or treated as that,
Okay.
Yeah. It's just it's this weirdly internet horny
forward.
Yeah. Kind of show. But if you go and look at a list, it becomes unmistakable. And that is what I associate Totally Spies with.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
On Twitter, there was one of those meme things going around where it listed a bunch of Nickelodeon shows and it was and with prices next to them. And it was you have $20. What should you buy? And I was only able to find $3 worth of things I wanted.
They didn't have the cool stuff. Did they have the Global Guts and Legend of the Hidden Temple on there, or was it all just the shitty cartoons? Okay.
Yeah, so it's I would watch Doug and Rocco, but I don't need the rest of this shit.
Yeah. So
Nicktoons.
Well, Angry Beavers was good. But so Dr. The Sovereign reveals himself. He's the eagle here. But he sicks all of the killbots, the slaughter bots on them. And Mommy Longlegs gets shot. It's pretty frustrating. Mommy Longlegs would have been a good hook. Speaking for the colony. Yeah.
Yeah. We love her. But then two diamond dogs rush in, take out the slaughter bots. Mrs. Monarch, Dr. and Mrs. the Monarch think they're going to fight them as well. But this is Watch and Ward controlling them.
Yes.
This is really funny. There's a part where it's like one of them just walking into the wall, and we cut over to them with controllers. They're playing them with Xbox controllers, basically.
This is like when I got stuck in that card in Red Dead Redemption.
And they're being real, like, check it out, I found a code to make the dog walk, dog stand, which is also apparently a Red Dead Redemption thing where the horse could walk. In Red Dead Redemption 1.
I haven't played enough.
Glitch.
I did like maybe 5 hours of Red Dead Redemption 1, and then I did the Undead Nightmare expansion because that was interesting, and then it glitched and I couldn't make progress. So
yeah, it's a big blind spot for me.
Yeah,
the Red Dead Redemptions.
I really want to play too. One of our listeners who worked on it sent it to us. I'm
very curious about it. I feel some guilt about not playing it after they sent it to us. And it's not because I don't appreciate it, just because we played other stuff for work.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's like a 90-hour thing. My understanding is you have to get really into like Western vistas. Everything happens very slow, but you have to kind of drink it in as like a slow.
It's like the
beautiful West.
Yeah, like a cowboy life sim, which is not entirely unpleasant to consider.
Yeah. A cowboy life. You get to fuck the dirt a lot, according to Dalton Wilcox. You make a mud virginie out of the earth.
A mud virgin.
If cowboy seeds worked like regular seeds, there would be cowboy trees from here to Oklahoma.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Dalton Wilcox, the poet laureate of the West.
Okay.
It's an Andy Daly.
Okay.
He writes cowboy poems, and mostly they're about fighting mythological monsters. Like him mistaking his friends for Frankensteins and vampires and killing them. But his first one was about digging a pit of mud in the earth and fucking it.
Okay.
And every cowboy does it.
Is this I always hear about these Andy Daly characters, your Dom DeLillos, and what is this? Is this all comedy Bang Bang, or is this the pilots?
That's where I heard about it, but it's all those things.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, Dalton Wilcox is worth a Google search. Just Dalton Wilcox poems. The first one, the vampire one, is incredible. Vampires, teeth as sharp as barbed wires. Like, it's really good.
Oh man.
So Dean joins Rusty watching Billy treat Treister. Dean just kind of like gloms onto things in this plot.
Yeah.
He just shows up while other people are doing things.
He gets a little bit of development toward the end when his joie de vivre, like when he falls back in love with the adventuring life a little bit. But yeah, at least for like the bulk of the first 2/3 of this episode, he's just kind of, he's just an appendage. Treister is barely alive. He was flash frozen, like frozen peas, or bird's eye peas, and just inundated with cosmic radiation, which we're going to find out is meaningful.
Yeah. He wakes up, JJ goes to pull the plug on him, and he wakes up, and he immediately thinks the people in the clean suits are actually aliens. Like, what do you want? He's like, take me to your leader. I'm ready to assimilate to your culture. You cure my pee-pee cancer. Like, it, great Toby House stuff. Billy tries to sedate him to check his vitals, and Treister's like, "Oh, you're the bad aliens,
the probing aliens." Yeah,
you're gonna probe him. Punches JJ across the room, runs off. Billy goes, "Fuck this noise! I'm gonna go get drunk and gamble." Like, Billy's had a rough day.
He really has. In the commentary, they talk about it like, "Oh, just how great is it when you can have a character just like declare when they're like when the plot is done with them." Like, okay, I'm over it. I'll be over here.
Yeah. And even though he does still get some interesting stuff, he learns some interesting information.
Yeah. So the Monarch in 21, the plane that they hopped on actually took them over to the Venture compound. They pull up to the gate, and it won't open. Like 21 warns the Monarch about the electric fence. Then he does his hyper competent 21 parkour over it before the Monarch just touches it. No, it's not electrified. All the power's out. Remember the phone call that we talked about last episode? The power has gone down, and Hatred has been trying very hard to get it back on.
Yeah, this scene rubbed me weird because it's played as like the Monarch kind of talking down to 21 around this stuff, but he had no idea the power would be out. Yeah, like the 21 again is trying to be competent, and the Monarch through pure happenstance is putting him down. Yeah, like you had just been electrocuted and died. but he's still just being really casual about it. 21 and the Monarch's relationship is not something I'm very sold on yet. No. Like they develop it and it gets good with the Morpho stuff, but I'm not going to keep harping on it, but it has a lot of debt to pay. Yeah. I think.
Yeah. They're
there. It's deep in the hole.
They're in a hole. But the Monarch goes flipping through Rusty's mailbox, which is stuffed, and sees, he hasn't paid his electric bill since June. So that explains it. It's not something mechanical. It's just the service was cut off.
Yeah. They can't launch the rocket without electricity. 21 knows where the generators are. We cut down to below the tunnels where Hatred is trying to navigate the tunnels to fix the power and stuff. He's with Orpheus, and then Jefferson and the Alchemist show up as well to spook him. And also just to have him here because it's a big kind of goodbye episode.
Yes. So Orpheus says, hey, you need to stop fooling around. There will be consequences if we don't get the current on. Implying that there's just all kinds of stuff that's under containment that'll break out. But no, the lights come on without them doing anything. And the rocket starts rising from its silo. There is the rocket that they took in, Careers in Science to get up there. It's redesigned, so it is not like as explicitly phallic, like it doesn't have as pronounced a glands, but it is the same rocket.
It's pretty phallic too.
Rockets is phallic.
Yeah. It's still got ball sacks a little bit. They're just minor ball sacks.
Yeah. But the Monarch had taken a gas can and filled up the generator, and then brought it onto the shuttle with him, thinking it was one of those air conditioner things that astronauts carry. I tried looking this up. I don't know what he's talking about.
Well, he's lying.
Oh yeah.
He didn't bring the gas can on for that. He's trying to cover for the fact that he had brought a gas can on because he had just written the Monarch pattern.
Yeah.
In gasoline.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what he's talking about either. Some piece of an astronaut's outfit.
Yeah.
But it's not real.
Yeah.
The rocket takes off. The fire ignites a little Monarch symbol in the grass.
Yeah.
He's going to get a little, he's going to get like, it's not like I wasn't going to get a little arching done.
Yeah.
Here. This fire ends up being load bearing fire.
Yeah. he arches Rusty more than he realizes. I also like the gag of him, when he's doing his cackling, and the wings deploy inside of his spacesuit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we switch over to, Swifty, going into his little, apartment. And this is where it's Fat Chance wearing a skin suit. I say this doesn't count as blackface, does it? It's very cute. And the rest of the Revenge Society come through Fat Chance, through his portal, since he's Fat Choice.
Mm-hmm.
And they all get sent to the space station bridge.
Yeah.
They take everybody out because it's not meant for combat, all the Venbots.
Mm-hmm.
Phantom Limb initiates a lockdown, and they attack the security guards that are in the casino there. He comes out yelling. He says, "We are the Revenge Society." And Hunter, who's watching on the screen, says, "Who the hell are these assholes?" They have not ran into each other at all.
No. I like the timing of that. That Hunter always has good timing. But Underbite and Zero, they burst in to the casino's cages. This is where Brock is being held with Amber, and Zero just barely acknowledges Brock. They have history. Previously, they'd run into each other. Zero just starts like walking away from the money with Brock kind of taunting him, saying like, "Oh yeah, I recognize you.
I know you. Oh yeah, you're the guy." He's doing the taunt the guard so he gets close.
Yes.
Thing.
Yeah.
So he can get out.
Mm-hmm. So the old timers are huddled under the card table, and they're scoping out the situation. Hank is real impatient. Like, hey, you guys are these, action heroes, right? Why aren't you stopping them?
Mm-hmm. And they're just like, oh, this is what the police are for. It's just money.
Yeah.
Which like, yes, adventure is good, but also, it is just money.
Mm-hmm. No sense. No sense risking our lives or getting other people killed. So,
yeah. And Rose actually is the one who's like, you know what, the boy's right.
Mm-hmm.
And starts planning. Billy's very surprised.
Yeah.
He's like, you stay back here, water baby, where it's safe.
Yeah. So she's like laying out tactics and assigning people to like different places, and you take him and you take him. Like she's just very much on it. And it's going to be revealed because she is, triple threat. That's why she was at that. That's why she was at the retirement community for former adventurers. Right?
Yeah, the Action Man is going to get his filth all over her. So,
man. So back down at the surface, going back to the resistance plotline, we see what appears to be a fat man on a fishing, like a rowboat at night fishing.
I love this. This reminds me of the whale that gets sawed in half in Venture Libre, the not very good episode Venture Libre.
Oh yeah,
when Helper cuts the whale in half from within. It's so good.
I just love that they disguise this escape hatch from the guild headquarters just as this perpetually fishing fat man out in the middle of the lake. And they emerge, and Phage is like, all right, fuck this noise, I'm gonna get out of here. And Dr. Mrs. the Monarch, doesn't go with him. She stays and calls the Monarch. And like you said, there is ground that needs to be covered to get this relationship back where it needs to be. I do like that when she calls, they are playing 20 questions, just because they're killing time in the rocket, which is nice.
It's a cute thing. I in the commentary I got, or not the commentary, in the book, I felt like Doc was a little too self-congratulatory about it. It's this weird thing. Like, again, I don't feel like we're there yet with those characters. This is fine. And it's cute, but it's a really packed episode.
Yeah.
And I like people talking, but I want them to make jokes or talk about emotional stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of this is just a straight up game of 20 questions. Whenever we got back to this, there's no incident.
The answer is a real deep pull. I mean, even for the time that this aired. So
yeah,
not a lot of people were thinking about Lance Burton in 2015.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense that they would, they both have this kind of shared, like every character on the show has this weird share. They have the knowledge that Doc and Jackson have.
Yeah.
The things they're obsessed with, the characters are obsessed with. It just ended up feeling like a weird amount of time.
Yeah.
To me. It's fine.
Yeah.
When she calls, she's like, oh, we're on our way to Gargantua-2. And she's like, that's the exact worst place for you heading to. You have to turn around, and she's like, I can't. Or Monarch's like, I can't. Like, they're on autopilot.
Yeah.
They're like, we don't know how to do a ship or pilot a ship. And there's just a big button that says Gargantua. They're originally going to make it go to Gargantua-1, which would make sense.
Yeah.
They're just going to handwave that.
It was just going to take them to the empty space where Gargantua-1 used to be.
Yeah.
So they weren't even headed into danger, but it ends up working out a different way. Dr. and Mrs. the Monarch says tearfully, I'm not going to let you die. And, very sweetly says, you're the only part of my life that I know is right. They have he is not always the best husband, but they have a good, solid relationship. And she says, don't worry, I'll be careful. You guys just do your best to stay alive. And then we look down and we see that, she's gut shot. She herself is probably going to die because in the exchange of fire with the Slaughterbots, she took a hit.
Yeah. So back in the casino, Lim goes up to the bridge to deactivate the ray shields. The idea is just to let asteroids tear apart the ship.
Yeah.
The investors show up and stop him. The Sovereign didn't tell them that the investors were, in play. And he's surprised, and he actually accidentally reveals that the Sovereign was conspiring against them.
Yeah.
They're like, thank you for that information. And they disappear.
Yeah.
Right before they do, the big fat investor destroys the panel.
Yep.
That they're at.
So I love that Legs destroys the panel. I also love that Professor Incorrigible, or Impossible, calls Phantom Lou and says, Hamilton, trouble in River City. That's the way you
which is about billiards.
Yeah. And the moral rot.
Yeah, the moral rot that is billiards. Which my jaw dropped when I first saw that musical. Saw the Music Man. God. I was like, style only makes sense, and also what the fuck?
Yeah. Trombones. Really? Okay.
Yeah. Good choice, musicals. I'm going to go I think in late spring or early summer.
Okay.
My girlfriend has an extra ticket, and I'm going to go see Cats.
Ooh.
To complete my Cats journey.
Oh, God.
That started with the Cats movie and then the Cats movie commentary that me and Will did. see some live cats.
The version of Cats that I saw, admittedly, it was like a local touring company. It's not a good show, dude. Like,
no, dude, it's gonna be excruciating. Like I am going to writhe in my seat, like I'm being like slowly electrocuted.
Yeah,
I cannot imagine anything. Again, loaded word, but I'm just gonna say it. Cringier. In this, I'm doing it for the art. I'm doing it for podcast reasons. And my girlfriend knows. Like I'm like, yeah, you understand that I'm not a sincere fan of Cats, right? Like, you understand that I'm not going to appreciating this unironically,
right? She understands.
Like, no, that's great. Yeah.
Okay.
She knows I do.
She knows it. She knows my business. Yeah.
She knows
you need to be gummied, man. I can't
dude.
tell you.
It's if I like Cats gummy, like, I don't know. I might up on a missing persons poster or a wanted poster in that case. I'm pretty wants to remember it. I want to be able to like pull out abject suffering details for like 6 months and be like, man, this reminds me of when Skimbleshanks, Skimbleshanks, the railway cat. The cat of railway trains.
No, I'm led to believe that he's committed a number of crimes.
Well, that's not Skimbleshanks.
Oh, that's McCavity. Yeah, okay.
That's McCavity, my friend. But just being like, yeah, the actor had this gigantic unit and it was just flapping around because I assume it being local theater, it's all the Cirque du Soleil from The Simpsons. Local theater guys love to just get fucking tight pantsed.
Yeah.
I don't really get it, but something about those guys and their gigantic hogs. I don't get it.
Oh man. So yeah, report back. That sounds like a fucking nightmare. But it's not a reason to do it. Not a reason not to do it.
I'll do anything for the novelty.
Oh yeah, true.
Like, just about like a show. Like I'll go sit for 2 hours.
PCP.
Not so bad. I was planning to sit anyway.
So he goes back through Fat Chance's wormhole to get down there and finds that Colonel Gentleman is strangling Fat Chance. So just they've made their move, and the oldies are fighting back.
Yep. Sally, who's still in play, walks up and says, "Richard, why are you doing this?" He's like, "I'm not Richard. I'm Professor Incorrigible."
He's not even wearing a mask.
Action Man and Rose perform a Meet Me in St. Louis, which is a move that they do. And when they knock over Fat Chance, he loses control. So his portal spews out like a bunch of stuff, including a squid, which we saw in the beginning.
Yeah. Just filling this chaotic scene with even more chaos. Lim calls for help from Zero. But Zero is still in the cages talking to Brock. Brock is getting under his skin, right? Saying, "Oh, you're just a henchman. You're trying to be something else, but that's what you are." And then he finally, this is when he says, like, "Yeah, I recognize you." And
he's being very canny about it.
Yeah, and Zero's about to kill him, just to getting revenge for all henchmen everywhere. This is when he draws close, but Brock isn't the one who grabs him. It's Amber who yanks him in and breaks his arm, and Brock snaps his neck right as Hank walks in and just vomits really standing up.
Like, "Hey, Brock, whoa!" It's really funny. That's very good. But since the ray shields are down, asteroids start hitting.
Yeah.
No good.
Mm-hmm. It's going Titanic up in here.
Yes. As the asteroids are pummeling the station, Phantom Limb, is upset because he's been triple cost.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't know exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
This is a complicated plot.
Mm-hmm.
JJ understands the sound of meteors. The ray shield must have failed. And Rusty's like, "Well, it worked when I gave it to you." Very funny.
Yeah.
And JJ's like, he's fine. He says like, "What can we do?" Dean asks, "What can we do?" And JJ's like, "Get suited up and do a manual reboot."
Mm-hmm.
And he does a Go Team venture with Dean and him, and then Rusty joins in.
No.
Very sweet moment. And then Treister's like, "And Team Timothy Treister." He's in as well.
He's just there to help. He's on board. God, I love Treister so much.
I love him. I hope he comes back as a Galactus.
He's thirsty.
Post credits in the movie.
Hunter is baffled at everything that's going on. There are so many things that they didn't take into account. And even more confusing is those guild members, those council members who gave him the slip. They just walked right into the room. It is Dr. Z, Red Mantle, and Dragoon here in their disguises. and they just they're doing this like, hey, we're old timers, we've been here forever, we are disgusted by the sovereign and his dealing with these investors, and just done all these breaches in guild law. We want to make a deal. We will give you the sovereign's location in exchange for full immunity. Like they're ready to turn states.
Yeah, it's much like the Democrats and the Republicans. They're enemies on paper, but they're both big fans of the system.
Yeah.
The game that keeps us neither of us, or well, not like the Democrats and Republicans, the game that keeps the Republicans winning, the Democrats are real into it.
Yeah.
So Dr. Mrs. the Monarch busts into the Sovereign's penthouse. She knows where this is as well. And the Sovereign greets her as Jonas Venture Sr., which blew my mind.
If this was this is such a good fake out. And I know that it's not the case, but for a moment I think, oh, wait a minute, is that what's going on? No, it's just
incredible.
It's just a really well done like fake twist that would have been a direction that it could go.
Jonas raised these unusually horny old men. The Action Man and Colonel Gentleman, the horniest old men that have ever been. And she doesn't believe it.
No.
And he had to say, I love the dialogue in this part. This feels like the end of Kill Bill 2.
A little bit, yeah.
To me, like it doesn't. There's nothing funny about any of this. This is just cool action stuff.
Yeah, that's the nice part about being a villain. Every now and then we get to take off our rubber mask, lay out our sinister plot, and explain how you're gonna die.
Everyone loves the tropes, And she says, I know you're not Jonas Senior. Stop wasting my time. And he turns into Bowie.
Yeah. And her just completely losing her patience. I'm fucking dying.
Yeah. If we're gonna do the movie, the cliche, like here's my cliche.
Yeah.
You are just a shape-shifting nobody. Like, you've done all this stuff, but you're pathetic.
Yeah.
And he says, well, how about another cliche, self-destruct sequence?
Yeah.
He knows the OSA is coming. He lit Red Mantle.
Yeah.
And Dragoon and Dr. Z go so they could tell the OSI so the OSI would get here.
Yes. So, when this building goes up, gonna get rid of everybody and he can make his escape. He's done all of this, to deal with the investors, but also to escape back into an anonymity, essentially.
Yes.
Because the heat was up too high. And she asked like, hey, can I have a final request if that's what you're going to do, if you're going to kill me? She wants him to spare Gargantua-2,
spare the Monarch.
Yeah. Just my husband's up there. You just there's no reason for you to do this. And he can't, saying like the investors have to go. He's assuming that the investors will be killed by something like an explosion, which we will talk about. Maybe that's not the case.
Yeah. They get killed by something like a sword.
Yeah, it's a mind sword is the thing.
Yeah,
it's not actually, it's not. Yeah. But she's discussed it. Oh, so you signed a deal with the devil and now you want to waltz on it. And he says, the leader of the evil organization is unethical. Who cares?
Who'd have thought? Yeah. We're fucking villains.
Yeah.
Before he leaves, she says, I just want to know who you are. And he's just some bloke who wanted to be anyone but himself.
Yeah.
Again, the creator's words in the mouth of a character, like it doesn't matter who the sovereign is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then he turns into an eagle and flies away, leaving her in the penthouse as the clock is counting down.
Yeah. Back at the compound, the fire is spread. The Triad are trying to put it out, but the sprinklers, nothing's working. Where are those firemen? Hatred flags on the firemen in a nice little callback because the power is back on, the security system's back on. so they all just get shot down by laser turrets and shit.
Yeah. Flipping and exploding and crashing into the fountain.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Things are real bad there. And there was going to be an extended scene here, but I do not, it does not bother me.
Yeah.
But this is all we get.
There was going to be something with the master, telling the Triad not to rely on their magic, stuff like that.
Yeah. Would have fallen a little flat since the Triad take a season-long break.
Yeah.
After this. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So back up on the space station, JJ and Treister are trying to get into the bridge, trying to get into JJ's office there. But they can't the lockdown is on, the hatches are too strong, and JJ is just completely weakened, saying like, oh, the cancer's made me too weak, there's nothing that I can do, I have to give up. And upon hearing this, Treister, is a kindred spirit, right? Here's somebody else who is fighting the demon cancer, says, we can't let that beat us. And then he starts saying like, oh, cancer makes me so angry, but you wouldn't like me when I'm angry. And he turns into a Hulk.
Yep. Treister has overwhelming desire to smash. It's compulsion.
I love that it's not just the Tarzan speak, but it is over explaining. Like that is an action. That is an actual criticism or commentary on the way Hulk speaks, as opposed to just the surface level. Like, oh, we're going to drop a few articles and then it's fine.
Yeah. It's also just what a beautiful image.
Oh yeah.
Treister Hulk.
He even turns into a Red Hulk. Like, what's his name from Marvel Comics?
Yeah, Shit Hulk, the worst Hulk.
Yeah,
me and Jeremy hate Red Hulk.
I know that there's a military guy who turns into a Red Hulk. I don't.
Yeah, it's the Hulk's girlfriend's dad.
Okay,
turns into a Red Hulk.
Cool.
And he blows. Yeah, I'm with you. Like, I mean, you can't weaponize that sarcasm against me. I hate Red Hulk. Legitimately, recommendations are poison. Nobody should recommend anything ever. The Immortal Hulk.
Oh, you told me about this. It's like a horror thing, right?
It's a really effective horror comic about a Hulk.
Yeah.
It's very good.
just a Hulk out there, just a free floating Hulk.
Yeah. Like this world presupposes, what if there were Hulks? We all know all the Hulks died out in the war. We all know the Emancipation Proclamation got rid of the Hulks. But what if it didn't get rid of all of them?
What if the Hulks won the war?
Yes. Yeah. From DB Weiss. And, so since he's a Hulk now, Europe's the door open to the bridge leading JJ in.
Yeah.
Outside, Rusty can't activate the manual override because there's two holes and he's turning the switches and nothing happens.
Yeah.
And Dean is just like really happy. At first, like, do you know what you're doing? And he's like, but I'm not mad. I'm just happy I'm on outer space fixing a ray shield.
Yeah. Like this is cool. Like I love this. He's falling back in love with the adventuring. Yeah.
Even though he immediately unfalls in love with it in season 6.
Oh yeah, he turns a 180. He wants to be a real boy. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a little bit of a false start.
Yeah.
Here.
An asteroid is about to crash them when Treister jumps out and punches it apart. He says, "Kraken," which is neat. Gives him a little thumbs up.
That's really great. Yeah.
I love Dean's reaction.
How was that? Yeah.
I've learned not to ask.
That's so good. Dean remembers that the interns that put the ray shield together had two sets of arms. So there'd be two panels. In the show, they're side by side when they should be one on top of each other. They talk about this in the art book. It was an error and they didn't have a chance to fix it.
Yeah.
But nice little clever little bit, tying back in.
Yeah. And just a four-arm creature would design it this way. It's like a mist puzzle. But they reach in, turn it, and then they reactivate the shields, solving one problem, but bringing this back online after all of the damage that was done. It cuts their celebration short. JJ's congratulating them. Hey, we might live. But then the core starts melting down. Uh-oh.
Yes. Over at Meteor Major, Killinger is looking on the carnage of the space station with dismay. This isn't what he wanted, and the investors showed up behind him. And they taunt him, like his plans are failing. We learn their names here. Cassius, Skiron, and Legs. And these are the names of the orthogonal winds.
Yeah, the minor winds in Greek mythology. Yeah.
It's pretty clever to make Killinger one of the investors, basically the same species. That makes sense. They have a lot of the same powers. And I never guessed it before this, but it's like the perfect kind of reveal where like it makes a lot of sense in retrospect.
Yeah, I mean, because both of them work to aid villainy, but they do it with different levels of directness, and that even is what Killinger says. Like I only interfered with your plans because we were not meant to rule over the mortals. Like the investors were trying to basically rule things through like a puppet kind of scheme, right? Whereas Killinger was being a bit more indirect and like uplifting the villains as opposed to anything else. And so, you know, like, but they are fools, right?
Yeah. Yep. And he's like, he says that this is true, then you shall perish with them. And they do a lightsaber fight. As a non-lightsaber American, this is fine.
Yeah.
Some of the action is fun because they can teleport and stuff.
Yes.
And like as you mentioned, they do reveal this is in the mind.
Right.
It's not really just a lightsaber fight.
It is a psychic battle. They would not fight on this plane if they are extraplanar beings. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Back in the casino, Billy asks his mom, how she knew to do all this stuff, and she almost tells him she used to be a superhero, but then she says she used to be a dancer.
Yeah.
I don't see the point in keeping this a secret.
No.
From Billy, maybe they just want to plant a seed so they can do something later. But later, she beats up St. Cloud in his apartment. And, who cares? JJ addresses everyone about the reactor meltdown, saying it's just a precautionary evacuation. And the panic, the pirate captain realizes what this is and yells for everyone to man the lifeboats.
Everybody run, lose your shit.
I love the idea that the pirate captain thinks anything he's on is just a ship.
Uh-huh.
He just can't get rid of that terminology no matter what is happening.
It's Halloween and he's on a hayride. He's on a haunted hayride. Look to starboard.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very cute.
Oh man. And Colonel Gentleman, one of the realities of being an older person, in the scuffle, he fell and he broke his hip. He's telling them, hey, you guys can't, don't try and carry me, just to make sure that you get out yourself, truly selfless. But, and then he is saved by his greatest enemy, though he hated and did not trust the V-bots. One comes up and grabs him and just carries him to the lifeboat.
The timing is really funny on this too. It's very quick. The Revenge Society realizes now that something is afoot in the world of Double Cross. He's working with the Sovereign here. They're about to turn on him. And Sally asks Richard if he's coming to lifeboat. He's like, oh, you'll take me back. And she says, no, I just don't want our son to grow up and not lose his father because he decided to join the LARP Society. This is ridiculous. You have a kid.
Right. Grow up.
Yeah. Brock and Amber try to lead Hank to a lifeboat, but he doesn't want to leave. He needs to find Pop and Dean.
Yeah. I don't get this beat with Amber calling up a zebra for them to ride.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that she just, so the zebra came out of Fat Chance.
Yes.
So that's why there's a zebra there. I think it's just Amber Gold having something of a gimmick or something.
Yeah.
Not even necessarily a superpower.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Southern girls or horse people.
Maybe.
Girls from the South get horses in a way that
Northern
girls never do.
They're connected to the horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many weird sexual awakenings through Black Beauty. Like, not being sarcastic. It's
it's
legitimately true. It happens, man.
Yeah.
It's so I assumed it's just horse girl stuff.
Yeah.
But
no clue. The next space station over, the meteor base, Killinger's holding his own. He's got his own lightsabers as he's cutting them apart. He cuts legs apart. Is it legs or lips?
I thought it was legs.
I thought it was lips.
Yeah, I might be wrong.
Yeah.
He's dead now. It doesn't matter.
Right. And so as this is happening, elsewhere, Watch and Ward, they break into the penthouse where Dr. and Mrs. the Monarch is, hoping to kill the Sovereign, but they're going to settle for rescuing Dr. and Mrs. the Monarch. They just want to be heroes.
Yeah, and they think also that they're going to, at first it seems like they're going to die as well.
Mm-hmm.
Here, but then they're like, as they pop in, they're where's Bowie? He's not David Bowie. He goes, oh, great. All my signed albums are worthless. And they're like, the last villain cliche along with self-destruct is escape pods.
Yeah.
And they also take some pleasure in the game of pressing the button.
Yeah. And the flying saucer takes off. The whole penthouse kind of turns into this as it's revealed that the base is inside this mountain. It's right by that lake. Speaking of that lake, as the facility explodes, a shockwave rocks a boat that is there as the OSI is arriving. Headshots there, the shockwave and the wave causes him to fire off an errant shot, which hits an eagle that falls into the lake. That's the Sovereign. Sovereign's dead. He thought he could get escaped. Yeah.
Yep. Got rid of that plot line.
Yeah.
It is indeed Lips.
Okay.
Correct. But yeah, so Headshot and Amber both get something to do.
Cool.
The weird brief tenor of this show.
Yes, and the Sovereign is dead. Long live the Sovereign. So Pirate Captain asks JJ over the communicator, like, hey, where are you? And JJ says, you should know more than anybody. The captain has to go down with the ship. He's up on the bridge.
Yes. Yeah. I love this joke where he's like, the captain goes down with the ship, and he goes, he said, not you, the captain, me, the captain.
Oh, okay.
Okay. A very funny idea. The idea, like, the captain goes down with the ship, that means you.
Just the final indignity. Oh, man.
So he wants to get the station to a safe distance here after he disconnects. He asks Treister to help him. He smashed this one last thing. He'll get to meet his star people there. It's a sacrifice. Is the idea.
Yeah. So it seems like the Monarch is going to tell something, is going to tell 21 something kind, like, oh, I don't know how to say this, or, just there's ambiguity around it. And this is when he guesses. And it's Lance Burton is the answer there, 21 to their 20 questions kind of thing. The magician, I think he made the Statue of Liberty disappear.
That's David Copperfield, my friend.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Lance Burton was a magician who just guessed it on dumb shit in the 70s.
Yeah.
Like Dick Cavett had to have a magician on every once in a while, the 70s and 80s.
I remember watching like in the 90s, like just a feature where, like, when magicians would have a feature on television, where they would do their stuff. It's weird.
You say, like, watch a feature when magicians attack. Oh no. It's a libertarian run. This guy's got a sketchy beard. Go.
I'm sure there's a movie about a magician assassin, right?
I hope so.
I mean, other than FX, but yeah.
The when Washington Ward, the thing that makes it, I was thinking about Lance Burton. This is very of its time when they do the ejector pod, they reference Hollywood Squares. They go like Shadow Stevens for the thing. For who he is, how cool of a name is Shadow Stevens for what he actually is?
It's a pretty wide difference. Yeah,
yeah, it's a really big gulf there. Also, Hollywood Squares, like I watched that a lot as a kid.
Of course you did.
I really liked it.
Yeah, you had to get your recommended daily Bruce Valanche.
Yeah, I had to get, what is it? James Domian, who is a gay man. Had this bit where he's like talking about Disney gay villains. He talks about Mowgli, like with Sir Khan, the viper. Mowgli is trapped in Hollywood Squares, not in the jungle, because it was an incredibly gay show.
Yeah,
every other Hollywood Squares guest, like their whole bit was just being very flamboyant.
Yeah. Just really being up there being as campy as possible.
Super camp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anchored at first by the great Paul Lynde.
Yeah. Yeah. The original super camp.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Kingsfield of super camp. So he calls, Dr. Mrs. the Monarch calls the Monarch and says, where are you? And accidentally rescuing you.
Yes.
Because the escape pod is going to hit the rocket and knock it off course.
Right.
Towards the meteor base. A million coincidences here.
Oh, yeah.
This is real madcap and any which way but loose kind of stuff.
Yeah. And the last two remaining investors over on the meteor base, they continue the fight. And like right as Dr. Mrs. the Monarch and the others walk into the chamber, and they react, they react like they're seeing this fight happen, but it's not happening physically. Like this is just the form of their struggle that we can comprehend. They're standing there having a psychic battle. And when only one investor remains, he says, "You've destroyed the guild. What have you done?" And Killinger says, "No, I've saved it."
Yeah. After he takes out the last investor, he says, just there you are, right on time, as the Monarch, and Dr. Mythos is the Monarch. Right in.
Oh.
So Rusty watches the escape craft fly off. He's like, why is everyone leaving? I fixed the shield. He doesn't know about the meltdown. He's been outside.
Yeah.
And Treister separates the reactor from the rest of the structure. JJ explains that he's going to take a little joyride into a little joy.
Joy.
I mean, eat my lick of my joy. Unbelievable. A little joyride into history.
Mm-hmm.
He's killing himself.
Yeah, you're going to have to let go now. Yeah.
It's very sweet.
Yeah. Again, Urbaniak's performance is very good in this. He seems struck at this point. He spent the entire episode being extremely self-centered and bitter. And this is this is a bigger loss than he would have anticipated it feeling like. And, JJ's final words, as the reactor pod starts blasting off, he gives a go team venture. And instead of, replying, Rusty just kind of holds up his own V sign weakly, toward it as the pod blasts away. It's real affecting.
Very sweet. Brock and Amber pick up Rusty in their ship and rescue him. What are you doing here? Rescuing you, Doc. Let's go. Down on the surface, the compound is burning.
Yeah.
So that's gone. Treister rides the antenna mast of the reactor bridge, similar to, it's a Dr. Strangelove kind of reference here.
Yeah.
And Dean says, will JJ get out at the last minute? And then it explodes. No.
Yeah, no, your uncle's dead, son. And then we get a long post credits. Killinger uses his healing magic. He takes the lead slug out of Dr. Mrs. the Monarch's gut, heals her up. He even gives her a little lollipop from his magic murder bag. And
very cute.
Phantom Limb and Radical Left, they fall through the portal into the meteor base. They're the only two of the Revenge Society who live, right? And Dr. Mislamar is like, hey, well, why are you here? And Killinger says, you're exactly where your paths took you. Like, this was basically ordained. You were set up so that you would collide here in this very important spot.
Yeah. Basically, and he basically absolves Phantom Limb. He stayed true to himself.
Yeah.
Like, deep down, he just wanted to serve on the council. Dr. Mrs. Monarch says there is no council, and Killinger says, I see 13 chairs here. They're going to rebuild the guild.
Yes.
Killinger leaves. The Monarch runs over to a chair, sits on it, puts his feet up, and then Killinger comes over and says, "Not you."
Well, no. It seems like Killinger does the whole like, oh, he disappeared while other people were talking kind of thing. Like, where did he go?
Oh yeah,
Monarch,
he's in the chair.
Yeah, Monarch goes and turns one of the chairs around, and Killinger's there like, "Not you. There's no place on the couch for the Monarch. It's all that he wanted, and he's not going to get it."
No. And it's all he wants it's going to be his arc for a little while. They give the Monarch something to do.
They do. Yeah.
Since season 2. And that's the end of the episode as it airs, but there is a webisode.
Yeah, there's a promo. It was like a season 6 promo that they did that also ties up the gives us a little bit of extension, provides a bit more of a bridge between this and what happens at the beginning of S6E1.
Yeah. This should be part of the episode.
Yes.
It's a funeral for JJ.
Yeah.
Here. These Venture Brother funeral scenes are always very sweet to me.
Yeah.
The compound is in ruins.
It's just they're smoking and smoldering in the background. I love Rusty's line. Probably not what JJ had in mind when he asked to be buried on this spot. Not that there was anything left to bury.
Yeah. Hatred is really upset. It's not because he misses JJ, but because he let Rusty down. Rusty's like, yeah, you did. Sad. Orpheus, this would have been one of the cut plots.
Yes.
From this. Orpheus tells Dean, I know you were attached to the little guy, so I've used my powers to bring you something from the beyond. And you think he's going to animate JJ, but he brings back Mr. Ricci.
Yep.
The Dean's fuck giraffe.
Yep. The smoldering, the score.
What I do with it.
God damn it, Tim Tom. But Mr. Ricci is alive, cum stains and all. And the pirate captain, explains, as he's doing the eulogy, on the ship, when a crew member dies, whenever a crew member died, we would always sing an old pirate song to send him off. Pulls out his little concertina, and I love this so much. The dirge,
the creeping feeling of what it is. Like you recognize the chord progression.
Yeah,
slowly. It's a concertina version of by the Crash Test Dummies.
It's so good. I love that they just decided to build this whole affecting scene around that.
It's so funny. I know we covered that on Teenage Dirtbags where I talked about this, but I was obsessed with that song.
Oh yeah.
When it came out, I used to like cruise radio stations trying to find it.
Oh yeah.
Back in the day when you couldn't just listen to whatever you wanted.
It was like me with Fastballs the Way.
Yeah, like you just is one of those like that, and then Space Hogs.
Yeah, in the meantime,
I felt like they solved music.
Oh yeah, like they just like why make any more songs? This is as good as it's gonna get.
And it was 30 years ago, right? Like I was an idiot,
right?
But I had a lot of deep catalog with the Crash Test Dummies. Had that album, and it's just very very sweet. The only thing that would have been a more directly like Gary's Heart Missile would have been Walk on the Ocean by Toad the Wet Sprocket. Not real specific Gary.
Not Possum Kingdom.
Yeah, I hate Possum
that was
Kingdom.
The Toadies, sorry. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, very different, and also an edgelord song about fucking vampires.
Yeah, I suppose.
No, I suppose that's exactly what it is.
I never paid attention to the lyrics. My only context on Possum Kingdom is that it was a bonus track on the Xbox 360 version of Guitar Hero 2.
Yeah. And it has a long end part where a guy just goes, "Do you want to die?" But anyway, this is great.
Mm-hmm.
Like what a great song choice for this. So
and the only thing that makes it better is Rusty can't believe what is happening happening around him. It's like, are you all fucking crazy?
But everyone digs it because it's kind of a bop.
Yeah.
The lawyers is like, yeah, JJ did request this. Helper walks up and provides the helper drums to it, and it's kind of a good version of the song.
Just the whole, like, everybody starts singing along to it.
I love it. It's so sweet. His reaction reminded me of like our first PRGE when they started playing the Home Improvement theme over the PA, and we both like looked each other in the eyes like, is this fucking happening? Like, really? But then everyone is just like this moment of solidarity where everyone's like, yeah, I'll sing by the Crash Test Dummies.
We're gonna make this into a moment.
Yeah, I love it. It's great.
Oh, it makes me muttly laugh.
Yeah, it's so good.
Brock, you saw trouble coming up. He goes over to the driveway because the Monarch is trying to start up his rental car. It's been sitting there and the battery went dead. He's like, hey, I don't mean any disrespect. I just have to get this thing back. And he asks, oh, can I get a jump off of your electric fence?
Yeah. Everyone is in this, and Rusty's like, why is the family so happy? They're homeless. Mm-hmm. And the lawyer says, no, JJ left you something. And he goes, oh, Spider Skull Island. Like, he's rolling his eyes. And he's like, no, he left Spider Skull Island and a huge inheritance to Sally. But he actually left the $1 billion venture industry and their headquarters in New York to you.
Yeah. And it ends with Rusty fainting and falling over. People hit the jackpot. Yep.
Kind of his wildest dreams.
Yeah.
Where his brother died. Sad enough.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's all this in Gargantua 2.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen that postscript, go on YouTube and search it.
I recommend watching it.
A lot of people have not seen it.
Yeah. I didn't know about it. It was shortly before the episode. You sent me a thing on Slack saying like, hey, make sure that you check this out because we're going to want to talk about it. And absolutely we did. And I thank you for not spoiling that it was Crash Test Dummies.
Oh no, I'm spoiler averse. I try not. Try to treat everyone with that respect. Yeah. I had forgotten about it. I watched it when this came out, when it was contemporary, and then saw a reference to it in the art book. And I was like, oh yeah, I should find that.
Yeah.
Great episode. Makes me very hopeful for the Venture Brothers movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like they know how to do this long form cinematic.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
As well. Yeah. If they can recapture this, I think that'll be good, especially like with the finality that this kind of brings. And, like the only like branch that feels like it got some short shrift was the Order of the Triad to me, right?
Yeah.
And it would have been neat if Hater got more to do, given his importance for the last 3 seasons, you know?
They still don't really know what, like, it's not perfect, right?
Yeah.
Like they're in that debt with 21 and the Monarch. Dean has a character movement and then immediately moves back
Yeah.
on it. The Triad doesn't get a proper, like, a real good send off, nor do they get anything to do for a whole season. Hatred is relocated to New York, but not really to do anything. Like, just be kind of a sad security guard. Like, it's not perfect, but it does the work of getting them to a new place.
Yes.
That they need to do really good work.
Yeah. And I'm excited. I'm excited about that place where they land.
Yes. Yeah. I'm excited to start talking about it. Season 6 and season 7 are the seasons of the show I've only seen once.
Same.
So I'm really excited to revisit them.
I mean, I can't wait
to
talk about
season 6.
I can't wait to talk about the Red Death. Such a good character.
Yeah. I can't wait to talk about it happening one night, which is one of my favorite episodes of the show.
The Doom Factory.
Yeah, the Doom Factory is so good. Dangerously self-obsessed. Super criminals.
The way that the Lex Luthor grooms Rusty.
Yeah, it's very, like, and just brutally arches him.
Oh, it's very
breaks
good.
His heart. Yeah, it's very good. And I like them going to a Monster of the Week format for a season.
Yeah, it suits
for a Monster of the Week show. I like an ever-changing premise. Not premise, but you know what I mean.
Yeah,
topic.
Into it.
Yeah. And that's it for this episode. We will be back with an episode about the special features and such. I will be, or we will also read your responses. So if you have things to say about season 5 of the Venture Brothers or All This in Gargantua-2, hit us up at Duckfeed.tv/contact.
Yeah. And we take those responses all the time. We're not going to read them all the time. We already have some people who wrote in about season 5, but if you start having thoughts about season 6, go ahead and send them in and we will save it for that wrap up episode. If you would like to support the show and the network, you can go to patreon.com/duckfeed.tv. You can get access to episodes of this a week early. We've made a change to the way that it is delivered early, but hopefully that makes the feed easier to read for you. All of the instructions on how to do that are exhaustively written on the Patreon page. Just click the pinned post and you will see a link to all of it.
Yeah. If you're having any issues with that, feel free to reach out, but please read it carefully first.
Yes.
And read the comments. Somebody may have already solved your problem. And we are getting a lot of responses about that. It's getting better, but it's hard to keep up with.
Yes.
So if you, we would appreciate doing due diligence and taking a look at the stuff that we have already written out. Before asking for individualized tech support, if possible.
Yes. We don't have extra staff to help us deal with that. We're making shows.
This would be someone's job in an ideal world. Like we would have a tech person.
Yep.
But we do not.
Yeah. And we appreciate your support. Go over there. It's a good time. Bonfireside Chat is starting back up again. We're talking about Elden Ring. If you are at all into video games, that is just a major tentpole release. Regardless of if you've been into Souls or not. So it is a good place to be, our Patreon. Lots of stuff there for you.
Yeah, absolutely. And until next time.
Well, I also thanks Gwen.
Yeah, thank you. Well, yeah, thank you, Gwen.
Yeah,
thank you very much, Gwen. We appreciate you. And she will be back, listeners. And now until next time.
Go Team Venture.